After watching this series, you realize they don't call Michael Jordan the GOAT for nothing. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most shocking moments from The Last Dance. For this list, we're looking at moments, incidents, and stories recounted in this Netflix/ESPN docuseries that were surprising or just left us in awe. For those of you who haven't watched the show yet, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Number 10. Jordan and Pippens' beef with Tony Cucoch. It becomes clear pretty quickly in The Last Dance that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were always looking for an opportunity to stick it to Jerry Krause.
Krause, he's willing to put someone in front of his actual kids who have given him everything that we could give him.
And they found one during the 1992 Olympics. Ahead of a game between the Dream Team and Croatia, both players knew they'd be going up against Tony Cucoch, a player Krause was grooming to be the Bulls' next superstar. Feeling slighted, both Pippen and Jordan tasked themselves with handling Cucoch.
In the Dream Team locker room before the first game against Croatia, Michael says, "Hey guys, Cucoch, leave him for Scottie and me."
Not only did Team USA obliterate Croatia 103-70 in their first matchup, largely thanks to Jordan and Pippen, but both players specifically let Cucoch have it, limiting him to a mere 4 points and forcing him to turn over the ball 7 times. All because their general manager liked him as a player. Poor Tony.
It wasn't anything personally about Tony, but we were going to do everything that we could to make Jerry look bad.
Number 9. Scottie Pippen quits on the team. During the final seconds in Game 3 of the 1994 Eastern Conference semifinals against the New York Knicks, head coach Phil Jackson instructed rookie Tony Cucoch to score the game-winning shot. Furious that he was not chosen, Scottie Pippen decided to sit out.
When Pip refused to go in that game, it was like a Twilight Zone moment, like, what the hell is going on?
Although the Croatian sensation did go on to score the buzzer beater, the team was affected by Pippen's behavior.
We don't know how to act, because Scottie's one of our favorite teammates, one of our favorite people in the world. He quit on us, and we couldn't believe that happened.
Center Bill Cartwright gave an emotional locker room speech, mostly directed at Pippen himself, where he expressed his frustration.
Bill Cartwright gets up and makes this speech saying, "Pip, you let us down. I cannot believe," and he started crying.
Not only was this incident and the reaction to it proof of the Bulls' closeness as a team, it also showcases how much they cared about integrity and the game of basketball itself.
It's one of those incidents where, I wish it never happened, but if I had a chance to do it over again, I probably wouldn't change it.
Number 8. Openly mocking Jerry Krause. Throughout the series, it's no secret that there was tension between Jerry Krause and his 2 stars, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. For their own respective reasons, many of which they share, both Jordan and Pippen strongly disliked Krause.
Those are the pills you take to keep it short. Those diet pills.
However, while conflict between management and players is common within the world of sports, what's perhaps most astonishing in this case is how both players mocked Krause directly to his face on several occasions. On camera, no less.
What, Jerry, you want to let me some layers with him? Cover. You got to lower the rim. Yep.
From insults about his weight to taking potshots about his height, Krause was the target of many insults from both Jordan and Pippen.
There was always sparks going back and forth. But at a certain point, Scottie crossing the line. It was getting personal.
Pippen started abusing Krause openly, cursing him out on the bus.
Whether you side with Krause, who wanted his share of the credit for the Bulls' success, or the players who put in the work on the court to build his dynasty, it's still shocking to see someone mocking their boss to his face in public.
All the attention is going to Michael and Scottie and Dennis and Phil. And Krause was growing resentful about this.
Number 7. Dennis Rodman's Vegas vacation. Need we say more? During the Bulls' final championship season in 97-98, head coach Phil Jackson allowed defensive star Dennis Rodman the opportunity to have a 48-hour vacation to Las Vegas to take a break and recharge.
I do remember being in Vegas with him. It was on. The party was starting right away.
The party never seemed to end while he was in Vegas, as the Worm hit bars and clubs alongside his then-girlfriend Carmen Electra. When the 48 hours ended and it was clear Rodman wasn't coming back to the team on his own, MJ had to find him himself and literally drag him out of bed, all while Electra was hiding behind Rodman's couch.
There's a knock on the door. It's Michael Jordan, and I hid. I didn't want him to see me like that, so I'm just hiding behind the couch with covers over me. Come on, you've We gotta get to practice.
This tale is just another of the many incidents that illustrate Rodman's colorful personality. Number 6, MJ's performance against the Boston Celtics. Since Jordan had missed the majority of the 85-86 regular season with a foot injury, many didn't know what to expect of him coming into the playoffs.
Jordan essentially wills his team with a losing record into the playoffs. And what is their reward? Well, they get to play the almighty Boston Celtics with 4 guys who make the Hall of Fame.
After losing the first game of the series, Michael decided to let off some steam on the golf course with one of his competitors. After some trash talking with Celtics guard Danny Ainge, Jordan said that he had something in store for them in their next game.
We get done, we get in the car, we drop Danny off first, and Michael says, hey, tell your boy DJ I got something for him tomorrow.
He was a man of his word, delivering an electrifying performance and scoring a playoff record-high 63 points. Although the Celtics went on to sweep the Bulls, Hall of Famer Larry Bird remains astonished to this day about what he witnessed, an early glimpse of greatness.
That wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Number 5, if you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. A prevalent topic in The Last Dance is Michael's attitude and intensity, especially towards his teammates.
Winning has a price, and leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged.
His tenacity and passion for the game are obvious, but it's easy to see his aggressive behavior and wonder if it was necessary.
Once you join the team, you live at a certain standard that I played the game, and I wasn't going to take it any less.
When asked about this during his interview segment, Jordan becomes surprisingly emotional. Acknowledging that he may have been hard on his teammates, Jordan goes on to state that it was all for the sake of winning. Jordan attempts to dispel the notion that he was a selfish player by revealing that he wanted to win for his teammates as much as himself.
I wanted to win, but I wanted them to win and be a part of that as well.
Ultimately, this gives us another glimpse of Jordan's passion and drive to succeed.
If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way. Break.
Number 4, the death of James Jordan Sr. Arguably the most heartbreaking moment of the series is when the subjects discuss the passing of Michael Jordan's father, James.
Michael couldn't tie his tie, so I had to tie the tie for him. And that moment was just so hard of what we were there for.
Jordan had a special relationship with his father and credits his dad with giving him advice, a shoulder to lean on, and for setting him in the right direction.
He's a voice of reason that always drove and challenged me. That's the type of father I had.
Like a friend?
Yeah, like a friend.
It's clear through the interviews that once the man who motivated Jordan the most was killed, the passion MJ felt for the game of basketball suffered. The loss had an immediate impact on Jordan, and it's hard not to empathize with the man after this loss.
One of the things that he always taught me is that you have to take a negative and turn it into a positive. So I started looking to the other side of it, and that helped me get through it.
Number 3, Michael Jordan retires and plays baseball. Having lost the fire he once had for the game of basketball, Michael Jordan announced he was retiring from the NBA in 1993, a few months after his father's murder.
Before we continue tonight, a late-breaking story of enormous interest.
A shocking revelation tonight for all Chicagoans.
Sources with the Chicago Bulls have confirmed that Michael Jordan will announce his retirement effective immediately at a Wednesday morning press conference.
To say the announcement shocked the world is an understatement. When he made it official, media outlets large and small from all over gathered at the Bulls training facility to hear the most popular and arguably greatest athlete in the world announce his retirement.
Close to 100 cameras from around the world and 3 times as many reporters. They come from everywhere, from the local weeklies to network news.
But what was perhaps even more shocking was what came next. Shortly afterwards, Jordan announced his intention to play baseball.
A lot of people may think this off the wall. Maybe it is, but I mean, I'm doing something that I choose to do. And that's try to follow one of the dreams that I had when I was a kid.
Seeing as it was the sport his father had envisioned him pursuing, the logic behind this decision is understandable. But Michael Jordan playing baseball? Even now it sounds strange. Number 2, the Father's Day Championship. After coming out of retirement in March 1995 and then losing to the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference Finals, the hunger and competitive nature that had once made Michael Jordan so revered had returned. This became even more apparent during the 1996 NBA Finals against the Seattle Supersonics. Missing the presence of his father, who would attend many of his games during his career, Jordan seemed extra amped to put on a show and emerge victorious.
If you see some of the highlights of Michael celebrating, Where's his dad? Right next to him. His dad was always right next to him. So a piece of Michael's heart was missing.
However, while Jordan delivered a vintage playoff performance and helped the Bulls secure their 4th NBA championship, it wasn't so much his play that made this win memorable, but the motivation behind it. This championship culminated on Father's Day, and an emotional Jordan dedicated the win to his late dad.
Well, I can't even put it in words. On Father's Day, what it means to me. I know he's watching. To my wife, to my kids, to my mother, my brothers and sisters. This is for Daddy.
Not only was this a touching tribute, it also allowed fans to see a different side of MJ. Should we have done a top 23 for this list? Either way, let's look at some honorable mentions before we get to our most shocking moment from The Last Dance. The nickname that sums up the Bulls when MJ arrived.
One of the articles I read, they called it the Bulls Traveling Cocaine Circus.
Trash talking at its finest at Dream Team practice.
Up about 8 points, I think it was, something like that. And I went over and tapped him. I said, look, man, if you don't turn into Air Jordan, we're gonna blow you out. Man, what did I say that for?
Black Jesus.
I remember him walking off the court. He was like, don't ever talk trash to Black Jesus. And that's when I stopped referring to him as Michael Jordan, and I always refer to him either as Jordan, Black Jesus, or that black cat.
The last shot.
He took that shot. You could just hear the energy just get sucked right out of the building.
That may have been the last shot Michael Jordan will ever take in the NBA.
Michael Jordan punching Steve Kerr.
So I go down the locker room and Michael says, I know. I lost it for a second.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, all the ways Michael Jordan found to motivate himself.
If you're gonna high five, talk trash, now I had a bone to pick with you. I'm supposed to kill this guy. I'm supposed to dominate this guy. And from that point on, I did.
One of the many things that distinguished Michael Jordan from other basketball players was the ways in which he consistently motivated himself to play at the top of his game.
He constructed reasons to play hard that night. These little slights were deep indignations to him. That's all he needs. I mean, that's like throwing meat to a tiger.
Throughout his career, Jordan would look for anything that could be used as fuel to push him to play harder.
I knew that Jerry Krause loved Dan Marley. And just because Krause liked him was enough for me. You think he's a great defensive player? Okay, fine. I'm gonna show you that he's not.
Whether it was Jerry Krause liking an opposing player or criticism from the media, his airness always found a reason to play better, even if it meant inventing an incident that never happened.
There's nothing he would not do to get himself to the place where he's going to beat you.
Listening to Jordan explain his drive and determination to win and be the best player on the court was not only entertaining, but also allowed viewers to understand his mentality and why there will never be another player like him again.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.